Jackson County Today. Hot topics, relevant stories, and news developments that affect our community.
At a recent Medford Chamber Forum, Jackson County leadership shared a candid and informative presentation on the challenges and opportunities facing county government, including the growing impact of labor contracts, employee benefits, and state mandates.
I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that cause us issues now. I point this out every year. I'm going to keep pointing out in 1991, we were getting about $15 million in O&C receipts. It's about $36.7 million in today's dollars. Replacing that would be the equivalent of $1.33 per thousand. What I'm telling you is we lost the equivalent of $1.33 per thousand overnight. It was 20% of our general fund and 30% of our road fund. We've never recovered from that. And I could tell you if any city had to lose 20% of their general fund and 30% of their general fund, road fund overnight, they wouldn't probably make it. When I started, we had 1,250 FTE. Today, we have 945 FTE. So 20 years later after I started and we got lost O&C revenue, we still have less employees providing all the county services than we had back then. People, look at the fact we carry reserves and think we're doing a good job, and we are. I feel like we do a great job for the public. Our challenge is in our operating budget. We just don't lack the same ability to generate operating revenues as cities, and then we get hit by things, and these all come from the state. These are state legislative issues, and the first one that I'm going to talk about, PECPA. Raise your hand if you know what this is. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is called the Public Notice Employee Collective Bargaining Act. This is written, in my opinion, to favor employees. It's not written to favor the employer. It's not written to favor the public. It's written to favor employees. What I do want to talk about today is our strike bar units that are subject to binding arbitration. So that's our sheriff's sergeant's unit, our sheriff's deputies unit, and our parole and probation officers. So under this scenario, if we can't reach an agreement, then we go to binding arbitration. So when we go to arbitration, whatever the arbitrator rules, we're required to implement. If that contract exceeds the funds we have available, then we have to reduce expenses. We don't have a way to raise money unless we create a new tax base. We tried to do that a couple of times and failed miserably for all sorts of reasons. What I want to talk to you about is how bad this hurts us. This kills us. I mean, I'm not going to lie. So the current agreement we have, for example, with our sheriff's union, patrol deputies saw in this 3-year contract a 17% wage increase plus 5% step increases for those that are eligible. So 32% over 3 years. Corrections deputies were 34% over 3 years, and all others were 32% over 3 years. We're comparing with Deschutes County, guys. Like, it's a very unfair in my opinion. We're not trying to compete with Deschutes County, except for the law says we will compete with Deschutes County. When we implemented these contracts, we also got hit by Paid Leave Oregon, and I want to make a side note to tell you how ridiculous I think Paid Leave Oregon is for local governments, especially. We provide generous accrued sick leave and generous accrued vacation leave. BOLI has ruled that Paid Leave Oregon is an insurance, not a wage. What we have happening in the county every day, and I'm sure in the cities, is we have employees that go out on FMLA and they collect their accrued sick leave, and then they apply for Paid Leave Oregon on top of that. So they get full pay from the county, and then they get $1,500 a week from Paid Leave Oregon on top of what they would normally be paid. They are making more money being out on leave for FMLA or OFLA than they would if they're working. They are incented to stay off work. This is 100% ridiculous in my opinion. In addition to that, we have employees that face discipline. We're required to give them due process, so we have to notice them, hey, you're going to have a pre-disciplinary hearing this day. You need to show up to defend yourself against these allegations, and they show up and hand us a form from their doctor saying they're going on protected leave. They don't also go on Oregon paid leave because now under FMLA they have 90 days of collecting their accrued sick leave, and when that 90 days runs out, then they go on Oregon paid leave for 90 days. which is also protected. So they're off 6 months, and we have to wait for that 6 months to run because we can't act on discipline when someone's on protected leave. There's all sorts of case law about this. And we're stuck with an employee for 6 months paying their full benefits or having them be paid or unpaid leave while we're sitting there trying to run the county. When we pay this 32, 34, and 32% wage increases, we get hit with Oregon paid leave of our 0.05%, the employee's 0.05. And then our employees decide, well, let me wait till I got 32% more pay to buy out my accrued leaves. So now their leaves that they had 3 years ago are worth, 32% more. And our PERS rates go up. Those 3 years cost me a 40% increase in payroll. We get a 3% increase in our tax base every year. We don't have a choice. I'm not wanting to agree to this. This is the law of our state.